Welcome all on board the good ship Ginger Island. I'm Graham Hughes, your ever effervescent host of the show on Ginger Island in Bocas del Toro in Panama. We're actually in an area of Bocas del Toro called the Tierra Oscura region, which means the Darklands. So the actual address of my island is the Darklands. It's Ginger Island with two J's. Is Ginger Island, the Darklands, Mouths of the Bull, which is what Bocas del Toro means, Mouths of the Bull, and Panama, which I don't know what Panama means. Like there's a few things that people think that it means, but it's fun because it's like it's in the middle of the two Americas, isn't it? It's the little umbilical cord connecting North America from South to South America, and its name is almost Pan America. It's kind of cool. There was an airline called Pan Am that wasn't from Panama, it's from America. Didn't make any sense, but then, things rarely make sense these days. Hello, dear. Sorry, I was just pulling your leg. We got Paul in the chat as well, still awaiting the raptor. What about the rapture? What about the raptor? What if the rapture comes and it's all dinosaurs? Did you ever think of that? Because human religion has only been around for a few thousand years. But the dinosaurs were around for millions of years. In fact, there's more of a gap, I think, between two different types of dinosaurs, like very early on dinosaurs and like later dinosaurs, like T-Rexes. There's more of a gap between those two species of dinosaurs than there is between the later species and us today. Just like there is more of a gap from the building of the pyramids to the reign of Queen Cleopatra than there is from the reign of Queen Cleopatra to now. It's a wider gap. True story. The rapture. So the raptors are going to come down. Hey, listen, before people file in, sorry for being a bit late getting started there. A couple of technical issues, obviously. I had ants in my coffee again. Don't know, maybe it's because I wasn't here yesterday. I don't know whether they're in the kettle. I don't know if they're in the coffee. I don't know if they're in the milk. I don't know if they're in my cup. Well, when I poured the milk in, can't really tell. It's just black coffee, can you? So you shouldn't drink black coffee. It might have ants in it. And statistically, you're more likely to be a psychopath if you drink black coffee. True story. Then again, you're more likely to be a psychopath if you're an extrovert like me. So anyway, no, there's no. You can look in there. Look, see. There's no ants in my coffee. Ants in my coffee, as Carly Simon once sang. Squeeze that back on. Nice little squeezy noise, that, isn't it? Let's use that as a Foley noise, along with all of the tropical birds that are singing on my island, including a pigeon who just sounds like a pigeon. Maybe you should stop the pigeon. I think we should. Saw a wading bird this morning out in the... Oh, that woke you up, didn't it? Sorry, you've got Pickle here. Pickle just woke up because a bird was squeaking particularly loud. There was a wading bird out at the palm trees at the back of the house, and it was just playing with this poor little mud crab. It was just like trying to eat it, and it was like turning it round in its beak, and then it was throwing it down on the ground and picking it up again, and then moving it around some more, and then putting it down. I was like, oh, just eat the damn thing, put it out of its misery. Anyway, so it ate the mud crab. And there you go. We obviously have our friend, our crow, our Panamanian crow. And talking of wildlife, we've had... This is just what happens, it's an island, and this is probably going to be a bit upsetting for a few people, but the other day, a dead turtle washed up in the mangroves over there. And I said to Ishmael, what do we do, man? And he said, oh, just leave it, because the fish will eat him. And I'm like, that's really shit. And he's like, yeah, it's a leatherback turtle. Could have been 50 years old. And Ishmael said that people buzz around in boats and don't they hit the turtles. But the other big thing here is that the turtles eat jellyfish, and sometimes they eat plastic bags, thinking that they're jellyfish, and they choke. And leatherback turtles are a protected species, so that was particularly sad. Um, there's a beach up on Isla Colon where the leatherback turtles lay their eggs, and it's a protected area. Except there's some fucking American Trump voter who gets to, like, I don't know, put a resort up there because he bribed all the right people. Anyway, the other thing that happened was there's a beautiful bird here, a beautiful yellow bird called the Panamanian flycatcher, and it's a particularly striking tropical bird, you know. And I used to have a nest in the house, just above the front door. They'd nested, and once some birds built a nest, it's a bit. What can you do? You know, I'm not going to take it apart. And they had three little ones, I think, two or three little ones, who eventually flew off into the great blue yonder. But yeah, there was a Panamanian flycatcher in my bedroom. Now my bedroom here has got like big double doors, right? You know, so you can open them and watch the sunrise to the east. But the doors were closed, and I went upstairs, and do you know what? Like I opened the door and immediately it flew out. But obviously, you know, whenever the bird comes into a house, it sort of knocks its head quite a bit on the, on the walls and things. But I looked at the bed, and it is shat on the bed. So I've got to, this is after going to get me laundry. So I was like, oh, for God's sake. Um, and then uh, and then I noticed when I went to Changanola, the city in the mainland, the other day, one of the things I bought was a bedside lamp, because the light in the bedroom is quite bright and it's not very nice. You know, when you're trying to get off to sleep, it's better to have a bedside lamp. So I bought one, right? And it's shat on the fucking shade, and it's not like a plastic shade that you can easily wipe. It's more like a woven material. It's like a brown woven material, because I thought it looked a bit more rustic. Just got a plastic one. Just got a plastic lampshade. But yeah, shat on that as well. So I don't know what to do now. I've only got. If it was at home in the UK, I'd just sacrifice the toothbrush and get another one, but I can't do that here. Like trying to clean it. Um, so yeah, a few run-ins with the animals, the flora and fauna here, and the trees and the plants here on Ginger Island. We had another night of torrential rain last night. And I was saying the other day that I was really impressed because we got up and it had been raining, but there was very few puddles. In fact, there weren't any the other day because we got all this new soil, and obviously it drained quite well. And obviously the new soil was quite dry because it had been a week since it rained. So it obviously absorbed a lot of that rain. This morning, there are a few puddles out there on the new soil, but it's nowhere what it was. And in the few areas where there's still no new soil, they're just like completely underwater now. Whereas the bits of the soil, they're not. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just a little bit. It just looks a bit wet. So that's good. So that's working. I've only got about a week left. You know, peeps. Only a week. Like I can't believe how fast this has gone. I can't. You haven't. And I'm sitting here going, have I actually done anything? Well, yes, dear reader, we have. We built this city. No, we didn't. We built this ladder. This ladder for getting in and out of the water. Isn't that a gorgeous ladder? Isn't it lovely? I kind of want to varnish it. I don't know if I should varnish it because I don't know what the point is, but I'm going to varnish it. It's so nice. I spent hours sanding this. Like, so it was, and that was made out of leftover wood from the bodega that we knocked down at the other end of the island. Brilliant reuse of materials there to make a really, really nice ladder to get in and out of the water here at the boat dock. But also, the reason why I called this episode Beneath the Steel Sky is this. That is actually a new roof that we've had put in. Ishmael installed it for us. His son came to help, and his mate Nanjo came to help as well. And yeah, we've got brand new roof, and it's red again. It used to be red 15 years ago. It was red. But with the beating of the sun and the rain and the elements, it eventually lost its redness. So it kind of gone sort of off white, but now it's back to red, which is awesome. And it also means we've got a bunch of leftover roofing that we can now use for something else, because not all of it was rusty. Do you know what I mean? You can cut bits off. So what we're talking about doing is on the front of the house, putting a small roof on the entrance to the house above where the shower and the toilet are. The house is built backwards. I didn't build the house, but whatever. But yeah, I think that'd be really cool to do it that way. So yeah, yeah. Actually, so a little story about the house and how the house was built. The house was only supposed to be the guest house. The main house was supposed to be here, actually on the water. But to build on the water, anything other than a dock, you have to get what they call a concession here. In order to get that concession, you've really got to have title for the island. And as some of you know, who've been paying attention, I don't yet have the title for this island. I only have right of possession, which is different and not a high quality of ownership or something. It's just that when you have the title, it allows you to do stuff like get a mortgage on the property. It also allows you to build on the water, but you've got to apply, and they do an environmental survey and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, the original plan was they're going to build the main house here, where you get a nice breeze in the morning and stuff. And then that was just a guest house where people come and stay. And as such, it was kind of built in a bit of a weird way. As far as I'm concerned, it was a bit of a weird way. The staircase to get in was around the back, and it was open to the elements. So, and also, I used to have parties on the island, and I didn't quite like the idea of people walking through my house to use the toilet. So what I did was I built a new staircase out the back, which is now the front. So that goes straight up, and then on the left is the shower, and on the right is the toilet. And that means that people who are here for a party could use the toilet instead of pissing in the mangroves, which is no good for the mangroves. They could use the toilet without getting into the house, right? But the staircase at the back of the house, the new back of the house, was because it was just getting absolutely hammered by the rain, and there's no sort of roof over it. It just started falling apart. So in the end, I was like, "Ah, sod it, I'll knock it down." So we knocked it down, and we reused the runners either side to is it runners? Is that the word for it? I don't know. The bit that goes like that you actually put the steps on. Risers. No, they're the bits that go up. I don't know what they're called. Anyway, treads, risers, runners. I don't know. It's got a name. Anyway, we repurposed them to make steps to go down into the water, but that wasn't as good an idea as I thought it was, because you really needed the steps to go all the way down into the water. Otherwise, you've got like 3 steps or something, and in order to get onto the bottom step, you've got to pull yourself up, like getting out of a swimming pool, onto the bottom step, which didn't really work out too well. And anything that you put in the water gets mollusks and barnacles and things, and they're not great to rub against your skin. So yeah, so that's why now when you walk into the house, the first thing you see on the right is the toilet, and the first thing you see on the left is the shower. Well, if the doors are closed, then you don't. But there's some privacy. There is some privacy for that. But yeah, that's why it's around that way. But yeah, maybe one day, if I get the title for this bloody place, I'll be able to build something nice here on the water. And don't worry about the reef, because that's quite far out from here. The water underneath the underneath what I am sitting on now at the moment, under the water, is just it's just mangrove leaves that have just decomposed. So it's just that black mud that you get from the mangroves that is full of sulfuric acid, and that's why nothing lives down there. Although I have to say, when I lived here 10 years ago now, there were a lot of 12 years ago, sorry, Jesus, 12 years ago, there were a lot of starfish. We got starfish in this little area here around the oh, I've got like protective things on there. See around here, we've got this kind of like the mangroves sort of grow around and on that side as well. So we've got this kind of like little natural bay here, which is really nice. We used to get starfish. You see how the starfish road It was like Mario Kart, only on the sea, and the stars didn't give you invincibility. But you know. Build on the water. Who's Dan? Starfish and coffee. Yes, Muppet Master. Oh, and Butterfly. Hi, Billy. Hi, Al. Yeah, thinking the approximately 80 to 90 million year gap between Sega and Super, isn't it? No, the Raptor. Some plonker said Raptor instead of Rapture and started a whole new religion. They're all buying Costco rotisserie chickens and offering to our Lord Jurassic Christ. That is awesome. I fucking love that. Dinosaurs are still around. But what's the point of Jurassic Park then? Funny me. Anyway, so yeah, what else do you need to know? It's gonna be a nice day. Next thing we need to do is the floor of the shower leaking down underneath because gaps in the in the in the. So we're going to the old tiles. We're gonna have a look at the cement. We're gonna see what we can do with the cement. And maybe we might have to replace the wood underneath the shower because that might have rotted because of all the leaking that's been going on, all the leakage. Yeah, so we'll be having a look at that today. The new boards are down here. They've all been sanded. They all look beautiful. New ladder, new roof. We pulled down the bodega. We brought over $2,000 worth of soil to the island. We've got another 2 loads coming today. Oh, holy shit! We put a new floor down in the house. Really nice wooden floor. Started painting the front of the house actually. I was going to do that as like a come watch us paint sort of thing, but I can't get good signal on that side of the house. Just kind of a little bit frustrating. I'll send you a picture. I got up this morning. I painted the. Do you remember the other day when I was painting the cupboards? I put the undercoat on. I put the second coat on this morning. That's my little job before I started this. Been up since 6, and now I'm just chilling out talking to yous lot about the what's going to happen next in the war in Iran. Yay! If you'd rather don't talk about that, if you bribe me with enough money, I will talk about anything that you want me to talk about, other than the fucking war in Iran. So just saying, but it can't, it's got to be a substantial bribe. I don't get out of bed for less than 10 grand. You know what I mean? Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Crabbit because Graham streams are all over the place while he's on Jar Jar Island. Annoying. Yeah, I'm just doing it to annoy you, Liebchen. No, every day, pretty much, except on Saturdays, which I never do when I'm at home. It's 1 o'clock. It might be 1:15 because imagine you have technical problems that include remembering to bring a coil so you don't get bitten to death while you're doing your stream. You've also got to not have ants in your coffee. You've also got to remember your super chat board in case someone does actually give a super chat. And then you've got the technical problems of trying to use a Google Pixel phone on a Google platform like YouTube and them not really liking each other. And a bunch of the earlier streams I did this month were all in the wrong aspect ratio, and it makes me so sad and angry. At the same time, I don't know what to do about it. I don't know whether to delete them. Like, it's like, like people who have like really ugly children and they just put them in an orphanage or something, just lock them away. I don't know whether to do that. Do you know what I mean? Just kind of make them unlisted or something so no one can see my depravity. Well, I'm in the wrong aspect ratio. It's not as though I'm actually, doing something awful. But it's just so embarrassing. Just so embarrassing. Anyway. But yeah, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, GMT, for the next week or so. I might be a little bit late, up to 15 minutes. But don't worry. And other than that, yeah, hit the bell notification icon and you should get a little buzz in your pocket when I'm going to go live. I'm sorry that the elements and the downpours, the rainfall doesn't quite match up with your schedule, but it doesn't match up with mine either. And we just got to do what we got to do. And for instance, in the evening, I like to do a stream in the evening, do like a midnight musing sort of thing. But it just depends on how the work's going. If we've still got stuff to do, I'm not gonna drop like halfway through a job, especially now. I've only got a week left. So yeah, I'll leave here a week tomorrow. A week tomorrow. That's all I've got. Jesus Christ, it's gone so fast. We've got so much more left to do. Christ, panicking now. Don't panic. When I got here, I thought, great. I'll have a whole month. I'll be able to just do some work for 2 weeks, get it all done, and then the last 2 weeks I'll have a holiday and I'll just chill out. I'll go find a beach and drink some strawberry daiquiris on the beach. That's what I was gonna do. But it hasn't worked out that way because there's still loads to do, and I spent all my money on fucking soil. Got a new couch, got some rugs, got some new towels, got some new pillows because I had a complaint that there weren't enough pillows, so I've sorted that out. More pillows now. Cushions, which is different from pillows. Yeah. Anyway, so I haven't been bribed. There's some cool ant species in Bocas del Toro. Leafcutter ants. Yeah, there are a lot of leafcutter ants. You see them when you're going through the jungle, and they're holding up the piece of leaf that they got on their heads, and they're going in like a file, and each one's got a piece. It's all very regimented. They're cool. I like leafcutter ants. Bullet ants, they can fuck off. Army ants, they can fuck off. Fire ants, I get fire ants on my island. They can so fuck off. Like, they are absolutely horrific. If they swarm your leg while you're out cutting the grass or something, Jesus Christ. Turtle ants, Azteca ants, trapjaw ants. I've not seen any of them here. Ants are utterly fascinating in their diversity. Yes, they are, from afar. But living with them is another matter entirely. The clock's changed next week from analog to digital. Oh, fantastic. Let's go to BST and stay there, like what they've done in Canada, I think, in British Columbia. I think they've just moved to summertime and they're just going to stay there now. GMT plus, God, what are they, 7 or 8 or something? Minus, sorry, they're behind us, aren't we? Minus. I'm GMT -5 here. Anyway, so it's great when I lived in Australia. I knew what was going to happen in the future. When I was living in Australia, I was traveling around Australia in 2002, I got to watch Star Wars Episode 1 a good like 11 hours before people in Britain got to see it. It's fucking great. Take that, people in Britain. Went to a midnight showing in Brisbane. Actually, no, because it would have been May, wouldn't it? May. Would it have been May? Star Wars films usually come out in May, don't they? Yeah. May 25th was the original one. May 25th, 1977. It's coming up for its fucking hell 50th anniversary next year. The 50th anniversary of Star Wars. That's great. Oh, cool. Sorry, I'm going to do this. Haru she I'm sorry, it's really bright and your name has come up in like a dark colour, like a dark green or something against a dark background, and it's made it really difficult to read, but I can read because it's white on a dark background. I'm GMT +11. The reason why it's hard to read is there's a really bright light called the sun behind the camera. It's like this. 2002 episode 2, not episode 1. I went to New York to see episode 1. So I could see it a few weeks before it came out in the UK. Saw episode 2 a few hours before it came out in the UK. Saw episode 3 a week before it came out in the UK because I went to the Leicester Square premiere with George Lucas and Hayden Christian and all those other people. Christopher Lee was there, and Anthony Daniels and Kenny Baker, who's sadly no longer with us. Great days. Episode 2. Okay, you said episode. Sorry, I meant episode 2. Star Wars. Attack of the Clowns. Send in the clowns. Those funny clowns. I mean, it was fun seeing Yoda with a lightsaber. But anyone who had played Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight would already have seen a Yoda-like creature running around with a lightsaber. Just saying. Okay, so yeah, we go now to having a look at what's been going on in Iran because no one's provided me enough. Attack of the Clowns. I said that. No one's provided me enough not to talk about Iran, so I'm going to talk about Iran. So it turns out there was a bit of misjudgment in the markets because there was sort of an initial complacency from markets, from institutions when this kicked off. On this, this early assumption that the conflict in Iran will be brief, contained, and economically manageable. Major banks were predicting that oil would remain relatively stable around $80. And there was a belief that Iran would avoid escalation to preserve regime survival. So in the same way, like last year, when Iran got bombed, it sent missiles out, but it was more kind of like they all got intercepted, and it was more like a token gesture rather than something that would actually escalate the situation, because they had to do something. So but the reality is that oil is now well over $100 a barrel, and it's going to keep going up. European gas prices are doubling. The financial markets are entering a stage of high volatility, and consumers generally are bracing for rising living costs. The average energy bill is going to go up for most households by £334 a year from July because of Trump, because of that fucking gobshite, and I can't wait till he dies. I'm going to dance on his fucking grave. I'm going to piss on his grave. I think I'll dance on it and then I'll piss on it. I'm going to set up a go-go dance revolution machine, like an arcade machine, on his fucking grave. Solar powered, of course, so anyone can use it. And I'll just have a couple of dance mats out there so people can just like stomp on his grave, doing a big like dance routine to K-pop. Be fucking awesome. Anyway, yeah, the core takeaway of this is that the war has moved from a sort of a tail risk, what they call a tail risk, to a central global economic threat. You know where they lifted the sanctions on Russia, so Russia could make loads of money out of this war, yeah? So they could spend more money on their war in Ukraine, killing Europeans, right? You know that America's lifted sanctions on another country. Does anyone want to guess, right, which country America has lifted some sanctions on so that country can sell its oil? Can anyone guess? There's a particular country that you might be a little bit surprised to find out that after attacking Iran, America has decided to lift sanctions on a particular country because they need the oil from that particular country to get out onto the market to keep the oil prices down. Can anyone have a guess? Oh, there we go. One angry pagan says Iran. Yes, you're absolutely right. One angry pagan. It's Iran. They've literally lifted some oil sanctions on Iran. Yeah, it's Iran. Yeah, they've lifted the sanctions on Iran selling some oil because they need the oil price to go down, and they're that desperate. I mean, lifting the sanctions on Russia was horrific. This is like hilarious. Do you know what I mean? It's like, stop fighting back or we'll let you sell more oil. And Iran's like, okay, well, we'll just keep fighting back then. No, because then we'll let you sell more oil. Yeah, but that's what we want. We want to sell. Oh my God. How mad is that? No, it was Russia. It was Russia's to start with, and now it's both. So yeah, the core driver of this global instability we're going through at the moment obviously is oil and gas. It's the transmission mechanism through which everything flows. Transport costs go up, manufacturing costs go up, household energy bills go up. And since, as we keep mentioning, the Straits of Hormuz, 20% of global oil supply passes through it, there is that, extreme scenario, which I was talking about a couple of weeks ago now, about oil potentially reaching $200 a barrel. And that would trigger severe inflation shock and global recession. The conditions, at least, for a global recession that make it very, very likely. There's been some concerns that have been published from the Bank of England. Also, the Federal Reserve have been saying, warning about, and the European Central Bank as well, talking about rising inflation and slowing growth. And then because higher energy costs means higher production costs, means higher consumer prices, which means there's a simultaneous slowdown in economic activity. And then we've got the stagflation risk, which is a combination of high inflation and weak growth. And that has echoes of the 1970s oil crisis, which would argue maybe we still haven't fucking fully recovered from, even though it was 50 fucking years ago. And the forecast at the moment, the latest figures I've got, global growth to go down 2.8%, which is, when you're talking about trillions and trillions of dollars, the global GDP, that's immense. And global inflation up to around 3.8%. That's on average. So some countries will be higher, some will be lower, but when it comes to the industrial fallout, who's being hit hardest, it's not actually Iran, ironically, because they're getting these bombs dropped on them, missiles thrown at them. No, it's actually Europe. It's our continent, because we have energy-intensive industries which are really under pressure, chemicals, manufacturing, heavy industry. Do you know who might actually lose his fucking shirt in all this? Do you know a guy called Sir Jim Ratcliffe, or Ratman, or Gobshite? He owns a small football team from, like, I don't know, South Yorkshire or something. I think they're called what are they called? Something Chester United. I don't know. Lanchester? No, it can't be Lanchester. That's in Durham. It's not Chester. Worcester. I think it might be Worcestershire United. Anyway, he owns this football club. I think that they used to be quite big, like many, many years ago, before I was born. But they haven't won anything in years, so no one's really heard of them anymore. Anyway, he owns that football, and they all hate him. Everyone who goes to these football matches in this place. Oh, it's an awful place, Simba. Don't ever go there. It's a place where the sun never touches. What's it called again? Manchester. That's it. I've got it. Manchester. Wank, wank, wank. It's actually what it says on the sign when you go in. It says, "Welcome to Manchester," and someone's written underneath, "Wank, wank, wank." It was me. Anyway, so Jim Ratcliffe, Ratman, he's in a lot of trouble, by the way. He's because he's not some kind of chemical genius, really. He just bought a load of companies, just bought a load of chemical companies, right, and sort of amalgamated them. And it does look like he might be in a bit of fucking bother, because there's a lot of leveraging that's been going on, which is when you sort of invest money that you don't have. Leveraging. You spend money you don't have. Leveraging. And which is fine if you're making money, but if things go tits up for your industry and you're heavily leveraged like what he is, he could lose his fucking shirt. He really could. Bayern Munich, that's the one. Bayern Munich United. But also you've got BASF, which is a German company, chemical company. They're raising their prices. And Teesside plant, chemical plant, is at risk. We've also got Europe being particularly vulnerable because we are a net energy importer. Britain gets over 50% of its LNG, which is used for, not just cooking in people's homes, but also in the industry and also in the generation of electricity, because we haven't fully moved over to net zero. If we had moved over to net zero, we wouldn't be having a problem now. The French are sitting there going, "Ooh," they're doing a Gallic shrug like this. They don't give a fuck. They've got fucking nuclear power. They don't give a fuck. Fucking gas. And Europe is still recovering from the 2022 energy shock when Russia invaded Ukraine, and supply of Russian gas and oil had to be severely cut back. And so reduced industrial output will come with this, job losses, obviously, and then there's further economic slowdown because things are more expensive because of the inflation, and fewer people have got jobs, so they haven't got enough money, so they haven't got enough money to spend on stuff, and if they did, they wouldn't buy so much stuff because it's so expensive. And then you've got things like the supply chain disruption beyond energy, which is, the big one is fertilizer, which we've mentioned a few times. It's a petroleum byproduct, and 50% of key fertilizer exports come from the Middle East. And then we've also got critical materials disruption. We've got helium shortages. Qatar supplies a third of all worldwide helium. which is not getting out at the moment, which impacts the making of microchips and party balloons and medical equipment, MRI scanners, and party balloons, most importantly. And then you've got the broader manufacturing impact of like plastics. It's made from oil, guys. It's made from oil. It's made from fucking oil. Chemicals, pharmaceuticals, all affected. And you've got a cascading supply chain disruption across cars, electronics, all that kind of stuff as well. Construction has taken a knock because construction uses a lot of fucking fossil fuels one way or another. It uses a lot of fucking fossil fuels. Road construction, that asphalt world that we love living in so much. It's fucking dirty oil. It's that's the marmite. That's the marmite that's left at the bottom of the barrel of the oil. Once all the good stuff's been taken out and used for stuff like making plastic and paraffin and petroleum and whatever else you want to make out of it, jet fuel, and then at the very bottom of the barrel they scrape it off and put it on their toast, and that's bitumen, or tarmac, whatever you call it. The black stuff, as in boys and the black stuff, because the boys and the black stuff were actually they were building the road in the original script, the original one-off TV movie that from which spawned the series. It was they were building a road. Anyway, Rosemary, thanks for your advice on the YouTuber who does pip stuff. It's really helpful. Oh, that's good. Oh, I'm glad people help each other out in the chat. That's very lovely. It's very lovely when people help each other out. Anyway, so yeah, got also knock-on effects, which I haven't mentioned yet. But flights, there's been a lot of flight cancellations, maritime risk in the Gulf region. Obviously, a lot of flights have been cancelled in and out of the Middle East, and also a lot of flights have been diverted, so they're using more fuel, which the airlines are going to have to recoup the costs on that at some point, and the price of jet fuel has gone up. And there's a little bit of a delay, you see, because the airlines aren't stupid. They don't just turn up at the petrol station and look at what the price is from day to day. They buy stuff in advance, but once that period's over, we're going to see the price of flights probably go through the roof, as flights have a tendency to do, with your helium balloons. So then we've got, the maritime risk, obviously, in the Gulf region is really, really fucking bad at the moment. And it's the worst travel disruption since COVID in some areas. And then we've got the export restrictions that are emerging, like in China. They are, no, I've got a massive wasp. Hey, listen, no, it's a new roof. You're not building a nest on the new roof, all right? You've had your fun. Wasp. It's like a wasp. It's about that big. It's fucking huge. Little bastard. Anyway, so yeah, the other countries. So China are restricting refined fuel exports, and other countries are considering similar measures, which could signal a move towards resource nationalism, which would mean fragmentation of global trade flows and increased cost and inefficiencies, right? Just really funny. I saw an interview. I've forgotten what it was on. I don't know if it was Gammon Box or something. It was something shite, probably. And he had some bloody gobshite, one of the neo-aristocrats, one of these private educated, like, oh, la-di-da, I'm very posh and stupid. I need to go on TV every fucking day. And they were talking about net zero and how bad it was. And the point was made by the other person on the panel, who was either green or knew their shit when it came to the environment. They said, but what are you talking about? Because they were like, hey, we've got to stop doing the net zero thing. We need to be drilling our own oil. It's like, you don't drill the oil. You give a license to a company to drill the oil on our behalf, and then they sell it back to us at market rate. We do not get a discount. Right? And the posh person was like, oh, well, I mean, we should. And this other person said, and this is such a great point. Someone makes a really good point. You're like, oh, I wish I said that. What you're talking about, right, is nationalisation. Do you want to nationalise the oil industry? Say that to them. Because if you think that we can make money and have our own oil to supply our own, yeah? Do you see? Do you see what the problem is? Yeah. quite a fun little thought experiment there, isn't it? So how do you expect to make money out of this venture for the British taxpayer? Well, these multinational corporations that we massively subsidise will obviously pay their fair share in tax. What, like eBay? What, like Starbucks? What, like Google? What, like Facebook? There's something for you. If you sell stuff on eBay, right, the government's onto you. If you sell like more than £1,000 worth of bric-a-brac from your house, from your home, the government's like, we want to take tax out of that, right? Meanwhile, eBay doesn't pay any fucking tax. The actual company is like based in fucking, I don't know, Rotterdam or something. I don't know where it's based, but it's not based in the UK. Oh, look at this. What is this? This is amazing. Thank you. I'm going to take my glasses off because they're kind of steaming up a bit. Happy Sunday. Oh, cheers, mate. Be a voucher for you for later in the day and something for the pooch. Also, how many hubcaps did you nick last time you were in Manchester? All of them. They don't have any hubcaps anymore in Manchester because I stole them all. Darian, you are a star. Thank you so much, my friend. We have a super chat. Thank you very much. Thank you. Very, very, very kind of you. And I did use some of your super chat money a couple of weeks ago when Mike got out of hospital, so I could purchase him some Lego flowers, which ended up getting him into trouble with his missus. So I probably shouldn't have done that. But no good turn, no good deed goes unpunished. But thank you very much, Darian. It's very kind of you. Yeah, I wake up. I'm pretty screwed as I need to build myself a new PC, and the price of memory has skyrocketed. So no PC for me. Yeah. And so there's got to be loads of things. I'm sorry about that, Liebchen. That's really shit. But like, this is it. Loads of things that we're not even thinking about right now are going to go like massively up in price. And yeah, you just don't know what it's going to be. Might be toilet paper again. Remember that? Pete's bought some DDR4 for an ARM board that hasn't arrived yet for £65. Same memory is now 690. Fucking DDR4. Fucking hell. £690. Christ almighty. Graham, Trump now threatening to bomb Iran's biggest nuclear power plant. Yeah. I saw that. Iran has warned of irreversible damage to the region if power plants are attacked after Trump threat. I reckon that the Burj Khalifa is going to be a target in Dubai. Horribly. But yeah, I mean, Trump said, yeah, he's going to go after all of Iran's power plants. But then Trump's a mad bastard who said yesterday that he was glad that Robert Mueller is dead. So we can now celebrate with impunity the fact that we're all very much looking forward, because it was a big thing on Facebook, wasn't it? You weren't allowed to wish death on people. I'm going to wish it now loudly and publicly on Trump every fucking day. And if any of those mealy-mouthed, anus-faced fucking Trump voters go, well, you're not supposed to say that because it's not very nice, is it? I'll say, oh, fuck it. Do you know what? When Trump fucking carks it, I dearly hope it's going to be just as funny as when Charlie Kirk fucking got it in the neck. Got it in the neck, he did. But you know, what you die by the sword, you live by the sword, whatever. You know, it's not an ironic death, is it? If you die exactly how you probably wanted to go, a public execution on a fucking at a university campus. Yeah, it's all good. We were talking yesterday about how we wanted Trump to die. There was a few really good ideas in there, things to muse on when we're feeling down, to cheer ourselves up, because every day, my friends, we are one day closer to the inevitable demise of Cheeto Benito himself, the fucking orange Voldemort, the fucking fat Hitler, fat deranged Hitler. But yeah, he seemed to be talking yesterday about winding things down, and then today he's sort of gone, oh no, actually. So it was the day before, wasn't it? Friday. He was kind of making noise about like, oh, we're winding down operations. We've achieved our goals. What are the goals? So the woman who's supposed to be in charge of like national security or whatever in America was brought into the parliament or whatever they have over there, the Capitol building, to answer questions on, what's going on, and just absolutely tying herself in knots because they were like, so in summer last year, it was announced that you completely destroyed Iran's nuclear capability. Was that true? And this woman's like, yeah. I was like, okay, cool. The other day, Trump said that we had to blow loads of shit up and kill loads of people and blow up a girls' school and murder lots of little schoolgirls in Iran because of the potential of nuclear weapons, And she went, yeah. And like, but you said that they destroyed them. How can those two things be true at the same time? Either you were lying then or you're lying now. And the thing is, that position is supposed to be politically neutral, Politically neutral. Fucking crazy. But yeah. Trump has been condemned for gloating over Robert Mueller's death. What a piece of shit. What a piece of absolute shit. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, other thing that happened in the news, which is very important that you all need to know about, because I know you're all big fans of the round ball tournaments that we have in the UK. Apparently, Everton, who are a team, the team from Liverpool. There is another team from Liverpool. I forget the name of the other one, but Everton is the main one. It's the oldest and the best, and they beat Chelsea, which I believe is a London team. I think that's in London or Essex. I don't know. They all look the same to me. Is that racist? I don't know. Yeah, 3-0. Beat them 3-0 at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. How cool is that? Just saying. They're only 3 points off getting onto the fucking Champions League at this rate. Ren, at least we can keep each other company on our trudge. Yeah, that's the way I feel about it. Love a good sarnie. Love is a good sarnie. Love is a well-made sandwich. Doing leftover crispy pork is a roast dinner today. Oh, sounds good. Sweet chili chicken tomorrow and home fish and chips. Oh, Gallifreyan man. Yeah, making me hungry. There was a Jamaican restaurant on Lot Lane in Liverpool called Jamaican Me Hungry. It's the best name for anything ever. Except for the there's a place down the road, on the same road on Lark Lane, Liverpool, which I think has outdone it because it called itself the Wu-Tang Scran. Wu-Tang Scran instead of clan. Scran as in food. Okay, just me. Right, Rosemary's no. I don't think that mods when I had 2 Davies. Okay. I've just been listening to Afroman's Cop diss tracks, quite funny and funky at the same time. Man's got humour. So this is about Afroman, who sang the song "Cause I Got High," right? And he had police come and knock down his front door for like no reason and like stomp around his house and fuck things up. So he made songs about them and he used footage, his own CCTV footage from his house. And there's one particular one. You've got to check this out if you haven't seen it. Just type in Afroman. He is just a fucking legend. And he's been taken to court because the police are like upset that he's like taking the piss with this one guy. And there's a cake on the table in the kitchen, and the cop looks at the cake kind of longingly. And Afroman wrote a song about it and used the footage from the CCTV. Honestly, it's the funniest fucking thing. Anyway, these police officers took Afroman to court for taking the piss out of them, after they illegally entered his fucking home without any due process or reason for being there. And Afroman's response, honestly, in court, he is so cool and so eloquent, and he's wearing all the American flags for some reason. It's honestly, it's a real joy. There's a lot of the internet that is just so fucking depressing and shit, but I just love the fact that this guy just took his opportunity to turn what could have been like a quite, well, probably was quite a harrowing incident where these police fucking turned up, racist police officers turned up at his place and kicked the door down and stuff. Um, Turn that into just the funniest fucking thing. He's like looked at the situation and how can I make this fucking hilarious? Well worth checking out after the show. Listen, we've got 60 people watching, which is wonderful. Thank you for 60 people joining me on my island. We've only got 25 likes though, so we need a few more likes. So if we could get a few more likes in the house, I would like that. Oh, one person just left. One person was like, "Fuck you, Graham," saying there's 60 of us. There's only 59. Sorry about that. Quality point and click game beneath a steel sky. Yes, I'm glad someone, because there's a new steel roof. It's a new steel roof. Do you see what I did there? That's why I called it that. But also, I remember, and it wasn't a Lucasfilm game. It was very good. It was very dystopian future, but it wasn't Lucasfilm games or what became LucasArts, which was the absolute champions of point and click adventures in the 1990s. Monkey Island, Loom, Maniac Mansion, and its sequel Day of the Tentacle, which is fucking brilliant, and The Dig, which is okay. Guy lost his arm. There was the motorcycle one, Full Throttle. There was Sam and Max Hit the Road. Oh, so fucking good. There was Monkey Island 2. There was Curse of Monkey Island. There was Escape from Monkey Island. But in my estimation, it all led up to Grim Fandango, greatest fucking game of all time. Simple as that. If you like Coco, or The Book of Life, the animated films, Grim Fandango's up there with the best. Absolutely. Hats off to you, Grim Fandango. I was going to listen to that album, but then I got high. Hey! Like button neglect detected. We've only got 28 people have liked it so far, and I just highlighted it, and it's been neglected. Go on, give the like a little caress. Go on, give it a little thumb up. Go on, you want to. Pagan, I just had hobnob type biscuits with chocolate filling. Outrageously tasty if you like a bourbon type bicky. Ooh. Wake up, have any countries boycotted the WC yet? The World Cup? Well, Iran kind of has, but then it kind of hasn't because it's asking if it can play its games in Mexico so it doesn't have to go to the US. So it might go ahead, which is kind of crazy. Oh, is my mum watching? Hello if my mum's watching out there. Sorry, I might need to change my settings. Just give me a moment. Just give me a moment while I change my settings. I should Coco. Yeah, indeed. We got Irene Hughes. Yeah, that's my mum. Hello, hi mum. How you doing? Good to have you. Good to have you on the island with us. Help. What is a bicky? It's a biscuit. It's a biscuit. What Americans would call a cookie, but they only have like cookies, whereas we have bickies, and there's lots of different bickies. There's only one type of cookie, really. It's like chocolate chip, and that's it. That's your chocolate chip cookie. You have a big chocolate chip cookie, but maybe you could put like other stuff in it. Maybe you could put like blueberries in it. Maybe you could put, I don't know, currants in it, I guess, sultanas, maybe. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it's just a cookie. Whereas biscuits, from the grand and inevitable, the grandeur of a chocolate hobnob, to the stylish simplicity of a rich tea biscuit, to the fucking just the mouth shattering orgasmic fucking awesomeness of a ginger nut. And then we have Jaffa cakes, called so because they go hard when they go stale, whereas most biscuits go soft when they go stale, and that's the differentiation. Shortbread is the superior biscuit. Ooh, nice bit of Scottish shortbread. Never have a problem with that. The best biscuit in the world, though, my friends, is not a British biscuit. It's an Anzac biscuit from Australia. And there are those people who think that the Anzac biscuits are the best in the world. And there are people who are wrong. They're the only two types of people in the world. That's just those two. Anzacs just blow every other. Imagine like a rarefied, deified. Imagine a deified hobnob. Imagine a hobnob that was like elevated to the status of above the angelic hordes. Do you know what I mean? Just to be a star in the sky, in a night sky. That's how good Anzac biscuits are. Also in Australia, they have ginger kisses, which are a bit like Jaffa cakes, I suppose, if they were ginger, not Jaffa, and they had a little bit of filling, a little bit of cream filling. So imagine like the sponginess that you have, the glorious sponginess that you have with a. But it's kind of like, isn't it weird on a Jaffa cake? It's kind of like, it's spongy, but it's not. It's kind of, it's a little bit crispy, but crunchy. It's nice, just a really nice consistency, right? So imagine that, but it's ginger, right? And you have two sort of a hamburger top and a hamburger bottom. It's only small, it's only about that big. And in the middle you have like cream, like in a custard cream, which is also a fucking fantastic biscuit. And there are those people who break apart the custard cream and take off the middle, you know, the interior with their teeth, and then eat them separately. And those people are right. But yeah, so ginger kisses, like if you get a custard cream, and a Jaffa cake, but ginger, and there's no chocolate on it, kind of. Yeah. So imagine like a custard cream, but instead of having the bicky top and bottom, it's the sponge of a Jaffa cake, but it's ginger flavoured. And that the filling is soft. It's not hard like in the middle of a custard cream. It's soft. It's so good. So good. I mean, Australians don't get everything right. I mean, don't get me started on their fucking mayonnaise. It's really fucked up. Like their mayonnaise, it looks like something that you wouldn't want on your sandwich or in your sandwich. And it looks like war mayonnaise. I call like American chocolate like war chocolate, because it's like the chocolate that you make when you can't get all the ingredients to make proper chocolate. It looks like, because it took them so long to get whatever they needed to Australia to make the mayonnaise, I don't know, eggs, that at some point in the process they were like, oh well, we'll just make do with what we've got. Honestly, I got a mayo sandwich one. It was like a prawn mayo sandwich in Melbourne, and I was just like, what have you done? what is this? What is on this sandwich? And I'm like, that's mayo. It's not fucking mayonnaise, man. I don't know what it is, but it's not fucking mayonnaise. My mum's watching, so I can't actually say what I thought it was. The only biscuits that even comes close to shortbread are Danish butter cookies. Yeah, butter biscuits. Yes, they are very, very good. I grew up with them. Because I've got family over in Denmark, and they used to come over, and at Christmas time would often get the butter cookies, big tin of them, and also an advent candle, and it is a tradition that I continue to this day. Cadbury's don't make chocolate anymore. It's full of palm oil. Yeah, it's mayo, Jim, but not as we know it, says Gallifreyan man. Oh, it's awful. It's so bad. It's so bad. But yeah, there is a Garibaldi squished fly biscuits with Stilton cheese. Yeah, okay, Garibaldi. I'll go with a Garibaldi. I'm happy to have a Garibaldi. Nice biscuits are nice. Or is it pronounced Nice? I never know. It just had to. I like the fact that it's got like a biscuit and it hasn't the word nice just written on it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, a friend of mine once had a company called Biscuits, which I thought was a great name for a company. She didn't make biscuits. I put up a wiki link about hobnobs for you, lol. Hobnobs. King of biscuits. But then we've got, you know, the caramel milk chocolate digestive. Oh, that's just a party in your mouth. That is just the upper echelons. You know, you get a digestive, which are fucking awesome to start with. Let's not beat around the bush. You get a digestive, and then you make it even better by putting chocolate on it, and then you top that by putting caramel in it as well. I mean, fucking hell, wowzers, trousers, pretty damn awesome. Pretty damn awesome. Talking about people being awesome, Sarah's joined the chat. Yay! Hello, Sarah. Hello. Could you give us a like? We're running low on likes. I like watch ratio is not looking so good. It's about half. I need more likes. I need more likes. I need more drugs. I mean likes. Anyway, so yeah, send money, send nudes. No, don't send nudes. Send money. Um, and you're not getting any nudes. This isn't that type of channel. Jesus Christ, calm down. Um, let's go back to what I was talking about. So I was talking about all the food security issues, right? So Britain only creates about half of the food that we eat. We have been dependent on foreign imports for food for well over 180 years. Like it's been a long fucking time, my friends, that we since Britain has been able to feed itself, and with the rising fertilizer costs just before planting season, this means that yields will be reduced, and also this ties into the fact that a lot of agricultural land, of good agricultural land in Ukraine is currently not being tilled or looked after because the fucking Russians have fucking invaded, and they were severely limiting agricultural exports from the port of Odessa until the canny Ukrainians kind of took out the Russian navy in the Black Sea. Well done, lads. But yeah, but who gets hit hardest when the food prices go up? Well, low income families and poorer households globally, and it also creates an increased risk of humanitarian crises around the world. Oh, we got another super chat from Sarah. Oh, thank you, Sarah. Not only has Sarah liked, Sarah has also given a super chat. So you are absolutely awesome, Sarah. Thank you so much. I'm trying to do a little heart. Oh, I did it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the little super chat board out and go super chat. Sarah's the best. Yay! Sarah, you're awesome. Thank you. Super chat. Woo! If you'd like me to say that you're awesome and wave this around like a mad twat, all you need to do is give me some money. That's it. All you need to do, give me some money. Cadbury's minerals are the best if you like to dissemble what you eat, nibble the chocolate off, unravel and lick the cream out, then eat the cake. Yes, Ross, I completely agree. I agree on that. I love playing with food. Come on. Yeah, we're up to 40 likes now. Yes, come on. Do you reckon we can get parity? Do you reckon we can get John Parity? Wasn't he a snooker player? Unfortunately, I have to be careful of chili these days because of the steady and continuous degradation of my teeth. The heat now stings the stumps of what is left. Oh God. Oh, Angry Pagan, I'm sorry to hear that. That sounds a bit rough. I mean, surely if you're in that bad a way, that then it does not get covered by the NHS at that point, or is it always going to cost like fucking shitloads of money to get it sorted? When I'll agree with that, I love cubing a rump steak and skewering it with shrooms, tomatoes, peppers and onion, and a sweet chili marinade, grilled kebab. Grilled kebab style and served in a wrap with garlic mayo. Nice. The birds like that one. The birds like that one. The birds are like, yeah, fuck yeah. Sounds fucking awesome. That's from some pizza music there. I'm on peanuts and hobnobs again. I should cook something with peas, quality peas. Has to be quality peas. A- grey peas. I like to taste the anus of the penis. Mic drop. I don't talk to me about starting playing with my food. I taught Lasagna how to play chess. It was rubbish. It only beat me twice. Very good. It's the Connect 4 thing that's always hard. So yeah, one of the other things, so we talked a little bit about some of the knock-on effects that we're going to be seeing in the next few weeks. So some of this is happening right now as a result of what Trump has done. But we also got the fog of war effect, the fact that Trump is putting out conflicting messages saying the war's been won, then he's saying that the war could escalate, then he's saying it could stop soon. He's just fucking can't keep his mind in one place at one time because he's fucking demented. He's an evil, demented, not malignant narcissist. But there's no clarity there on for investors on the duration, the objectives, the exit strategy, and this means that we're seeing a lot of sort of instability going into the markets in a time when a lot of people were saying, including myself, that it does look like that AI bubble is fit to burst. And when that goes, I mean, we could be back into a 2008 fucking crisis again. I'm talking about like historic parallels, also warning signs in the 70s and also in the 90s, the oil shocks when we had oil energy crises that triggered recessions around the world, including in the UK. Don't forget 1975, Britain went and asked for what was then the biggest loan from the IMF that it had ever given out. The biggest loan. I think it was $2 billion, or £2 billion, in fact, in 1975 money. So that'll be about 2 fucking trillion now. We also got the tanker war comparison in the 1980s with the US. They had US naval escorts in the Strait of Hormuz. There's some direct parallels with the current situation. And then obviously Ukraine, which I mentioned before, obviously the energy shock, but also the fact that a lot of grain couldn't get out of Ukraine, and because the Russians were kind of blockading the ports of anything coming out of Odessa. And as a result of that, that triggered instability around Africa, which the Russians were also pushing with the fact that they've got the Wagner troops out there, and whatever Wagner are calling themselves now. But this sort of private state militia sort of thing, which is interfering in 26 of the 54 countries of Africa in some way, causing instability, causing regime changes, causing coups, causing insurrections, all kinds of crazy shit. And yet there are some British people, some people on the left in Britain who are so fucking thick and ignorant and horrible that they actually still defend Russia in what Russia does because it's not America. And I'm like, okay, cool. You know what? Fred West wasn't America. Are you going to support him? Are you going to go, yeah, justice for fucking Fred West to kill as many people as he likes and stick him under the patio? Because let's face it, people, he's not America. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So now the government's sort of got a bit of a dilemma because they need to subsidise energy costs, they need to support households, they need to subsidise fucking farming in the UK. Don't forget, farmers lost a lot of their subsidies when they voted for Brexit. Not all of them voted for Brexit. Don't shout at me, Liz Webster, if you're watching. But like, a lot of them did. A lot of them did. It was farmers' fields that I saw signs up in on the way to Glastonbury saying vote Brexit, vote for Nigel Farage, vote to chortle Nigel Farage's balls. Nigel's our god. Nigel's got the best ideas. Nigel, we love Nigel. He's really good. He would have been amazing had he been allowed to do whatever he wanted. Just like Trump is now able to do whatever he wants, and you see what he's doing? Yeah. So people who look back on the first term of Trump say, oh, he was stymied by all the people around him who wouldn't let him do what he wanted to do. Yes. Yes, he was. Still managed to do a lot of damage. Still managed to kill 500,000 Americans. More Americans died under Trump's watch of fucking COVID than died in the American Civil War. Don't forget that now, don't we? They never built that fucking wall. Where's the wall? Where's the wall, Donny? Where's the fucking wall? Just finishing off a steak myself, simply done on the pan. Ooh, nice. Not allowed. Bugger all NHS dentist spots down here, but I don't have the funds to travel north to get one. If you're in that bad a way, mate, can you go to the hospital? Can you go to the hospital, go to A&E and just go, look, this is fucked. I can't go on like this. Surely there must be a way to get like a specialist to you if it's that bad. I'm sorry, mate, that really fucking sucks. Damn it. We've also talked before about like who's sort of most vulnerable. I've said Europe, but also Japan is incredibly vulnerable to because of the energy dependency. UK obviously as part of Europe is really kind of sensitive to what's going on right now with the cost of living and the fact that we get so much of our LNG from Qatar and it needs to go through the Strait of Hormuz. The most resilient to this, annoyingly, right, Russia, because they're having a fucking laugh now, aren't they? The US, since the shale gas boom, they can, they're kind of energy independent. They're not really, because they can't process their own energy. They need to get sort of their own oil, because the oil that they get from shale gas is sweet oil. It's like lighter oil, and they don't have the facilities to process that. It has to go to like Canada or to Mexico somewhere to be processed and then come back. But that's why they want the heavier, the dirty oil like what's in Venezuela, because they've got facilities for separating that its component parts that are needed for different, different different oil-based products, fuels, etc. The other country that's kind of got to do all right out of this really is China. China, they have got large oil stockpiles, and also they've been weaning themselves off fossil fuels like crazy. Just over the last few years, the number of new solar panels projects that have gone up, and the number of wind turbines. I mean, they had up on a mountain somewhere in China. They built the um, they built the structures for putting the solar panels on the structures, and then because it was such a remote area, they had the solar panels flown in on drones. So there were people there. So I don't think the drones actually like, fitted them or anything, but like there'll be people there, and they'll be like hands in the air like you just don't care, and the drone would give them a solar panel, and they'll fix that, and then the drone will come and put amazing stuff. But I mean, China is particularly well insulated against what's going to be a hell of a shock for the rest of the world. And Trump's done this. He's empowered Iran massively by doing this. He's empowered Russia to continue killing Europeans, slaughtering women and children with no consequences whatsoever, which is what these fucking disgusting barbarians from the northern wastes of Asia like to do. He's a modern day Genghis Khan. I don't know why like Genghis Khan was such a problem, when Putin, you know, is doing what he's doing. It's like, oh, why didn't you just let Genghis Khan just continue what he was doing? Continue, murdering everyone in his path, coming across from Mongolia to fuck shit up for everyone. And then we've got, the fact that this, we've got this sort of acceleration of what has been a process that's been going on for quite some time now of economic fragmentation. Companies moving supply chains to allied countries. This is also called nearshoring or friendshoring. And the long-term consequence of this is higher costs, reduced efficiency, persistent inflationary pressure. And why this is different, why it's similar is it's this energy-driven inflation we've seen this before, war in the Middle East we've seen that before, and also the global spillover effects of an area of upheaval, an area of that is in unrest, never ever ever stays within its borders in the history of the world. If one country has a civil war, it will spill over into other countries, but it's inevitable. It's obviously this isn't a civil war. This is an international war, but the different context now. I mean, what's sort of different between what's happening now and what's happening in the past? Well, there is weaker global demand than in 2022. There's less fossil fuel dependence, really, than in the 1970s. We've got more diversified energy systems. We've got a lot more renewables in the mix, which is really fucking helping us. Like, we would be fucked if we had followed like Tory fucking policies and refuck policies of ditching net zero, which it's got now. Don't forget the Tories champion net zero, and now they're like, no, not like that. But yeah, if we had backheeled that and said no to all these new solar farms and all that kind of stuff, we'll be much more fucked than we are now. I mean, so what's happening now because of that is that there's a good chance that the impact of this war will be uneven rather than universally catastrophic. It's not COVID. It's not going to affect everywhere all at once. It's going to affect some places more than others. And then we've got the sort of the best case versus the worst case. So in the best case scenario, I guess, fucking this stops tomorrow. The Strait of Hormuz opens quickly. The energy prices fall back, and it's just a bit of temporary disruption. The worst case is a prolonged war. The Strait of Hormuz partially blocked. Doesn't have to be totally blocked, just partially blocked, leading oil to go up to $200 a barrel. and that would trigger a global recession, almost certainly, and a multi-sector supply chain collapse. So the global economy is deeply exposed in this conflict through our energy needs, and I think that this really focuses your arguments when you're talking to dickheads and they're going, "Oh, we need to drill our oil in the North Sea." Are you going to nationalise it? Are you going to nationalise our oil? Are you going to do a bit what they did in Venezuela when they nationalised the oil? Yeah, what they did in Cuba when they nationalised it. What about in Iran when the Anglo-Persian fucking oil company was nationalised? And what did we do? We got teamed up with the CIA and installed the fucking king, the Shah, who was a bit more, Anglo-friendly when it came to petroleum products. Do you want to nationalise it? All right. So it say to them, look, if we were fully disentangled from this ridiculous fucking state of affairs where we are absolutely beholden to what is happening on, in some country on the other side of the fucking world, for our energy costs and where we can get our energy from, which we're completely dependent on to keep our country alive. Modern economies, they remain structurally dependent on fossil fuels and global trade networks, which are powered by fossil fuels. And if anything can make the argument for you so perfectly for why we need net zero and energy sovereignty. So what you say to people, like when I had my bollocks to Brexit flag at Glastonbury and some bloke came up to me, why do you hate democracy? Whenever you hear someone saying we should be doing net zero, you need to say to them, ask them this question, why do you hate sovereignty? But yeah, like I say, the longer the war goes on, the more likely it is going to be a full-scale fucking global economic fucking crisis, rather than just a temporary shock. And yeah, how did we get here? Well, 77 million Americans who are, not very smart, didn't pay attention in school, and didn't go to college, and as a result, and have daddy issues, I guess. And as a result, they decided to vote for Daddy Trump. Utterly pathetic. Right, I agree with that. I love cubing a rump steak and skewing with shrooms. I've had that one. Afternoon all, says Kirsty. Hello, Kirsty. How you doing? Bug of all NHS dentists. I've had that one. Just finished off a steak myself. Where's everyone gone? We've only had 4 messages in the last 10 minutes or something. Am I still broadcasting? Can someone leave a chat message to say we can still hear you, Graham? We can still, because I might have stopped. I might not be here anymore. That would be very sad. I'll show you the view. This view. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? The birds singing in the background. Lift that up a bit. They're lovely. They've got a few planks of wood there. They were the ones that we used to brace the the structure, the boathouse. We used that to brace it for when Ishmael was climbing all over the roof. We thought it best that just one person did that. I suppose if you fell off the roof, it wouldn't be so bad because you would be falling into water rather than onto concrete, but still wouldn't be that much fun. But yeah, I think Ishmael did an absolute fucking bang up job. Really pleased with it. Got a really nice looking little new boat dock now, which is great. Gonna paint the house. It's gonna look great. Just finishing off steak myself. Simply done in the pan. I don't think anyone can hear me. I don't think I'm going out. What's going on? What's going on, peeps? I'm gonna go out and come back in again because I think you've lost me. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I'll come back. I promise. Woo, 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 woo. Reconnecting. You're live. Hello. Hello, is anyone there? Is there anybody out there? I can't even see your message now. I know, that was the dog going. Oh, shit. I think I've lost you. Oh, that really sucks. Let's see if we can get the top chat up. We can see you. Oh yeah. You're still going. Cool. Sorry, the messages weren't updating on my screen. I know you can't see this, but I've got all the messages on the screen here. Hooray for the sandwich. What you're putting on it? Okay, cool. So basically, I only had messages up to wow. Fucking tankies. No, before then. Wow, not allowed. There was a message from Kirsty saying, just finishing off a steak myself, and that was it. That was the last message I had. So I was like, oh shit, and it must have stopped the stream. So yeah, no, when I'm paying a steak mistake. Knock on petrol in my garage gone up 15 pence a litre in less than 2 weeks. Yep. Trump did that. And Nigel Farage supports that. Nigel Farage is like, yeah, this is great. This is really great stuff, you know. Kat just texted me to say that she's looked up the Panamanian flycatcher and they are really beautiful. They're gorgeous looking birds. Also mentioned in the song, If the World Ends by the Guillemots, which is one of the best fucking songs ever. It's one of the saddest songs of all time. Just before I got put in jail for 6 days in Congo, I was left in a room with all my stuff. So because I had a local SIM card, I did myself a hotspot and got onto Skype, as it was then, to chat with my girlfriend, my then girlfriend in Australia, and we were discussing what the saddest song in the world was, and there's a few decent contenders. Tiny Tears by Tinder Sticks, definitely. There's the Man in the Moon by Grinder Man, Nick Cave's Grinder Man. This is heartbreaking. Obviously, there's a few ones that are like obviously famously heartbreaking, like the cover version of Mad World by Gary Jules, and also the cover version of Nothing Compares to You by Sinead O'Connor, which was written by Prince. But yeah, for just sheer heartbreakingness, Fake Plastic Trees by Radiohead will always get my vote. And No Surprises, actually, by Radiohead. I was very fortunate. I saw Radiohead in 1996 playing at the Manchester Apollo with my friend Dino. And it was a year before OK Computer came out. And they were mostly playing songs from the Bends. They also played not Exit Music. Yes? No, Exit Music. Yeah, maybe they did play Exit Music, because that was on Romeo and Juliet, which had just come out, I think, at the time. They also played Lucky, which was on the Help album, the 1995 Help album, which ended up also on the OK Computer LP. But yeah, I heard them play No Surprises for the first time, and that is just such a heartbreaking song. But yeah, my final vote for the saddest song in the world, and your mileage may vary on this, so if you want to add what you think the saddest song in the world is, If the World Ends by the Guillemots. It's just, yeah, wow. It's pretty wow. Anyway, so and then the police came into the room where I was in with talking to my girlfriend on Skype. I said, I've got to go, the police have just come in, and they closed down my computer, they unplugged everything, they made me take off my my t-shirt, they took away my belt, they took away my shoes and socks, they took my glasses, and my hat, and then they threw me in a room, a cell, for a few days. So that wasn't much fun. I stank of shit, and there's blood all over the walls, which wasn't very nice. Yeah, I remember when I got out, and they gave me back my stuff, although it was missing my spork. I never got my spork back. I was upset about that. I remember walking out the police station, and as I walked out, I'd been given my hat, and I just stepped out the police station and put my hat back on. Went like that. Right, let's go. Most people after spending a week in a jail in fucking Congo would probably, I don't know, have a little bit of a fucking breakdown. While I was traveling, I read, there's a book by Dan Brown of the Da Vinci Code fame called Inferno, I think. And it's fucking awful. I mean, it's just shite. But spoiler alert, if you're not seeing it, is it Inferno? I don't know. Something like that. It's the one where it's all to do with the Masons and Masonic symbolism, and the big bad turns out to be the son of a American politician, diplomat or something, and the idea is that he had to spend like the night in a Turkish prison because he was a nepo baby who got done, I don't know, drink driving or something, and his dad could have got him out, but he said no, he needs to learn a lesson, and that drove him so mad that he had to construct this whole plot to how to murder all these people in the Capitol buildings, like all set in the Capitol building. And I remember reading this after being in jail in Congo for a week, and I'm like, what? Tell me you've never been in jail in a foreign country without telling me you've never been in jail in a foreign country. Like, imagine I came out and went, right, that's it, I'm going to kill everyone now, in a big elaborate scheme to tell everyone the secret to the Masons or something. I don't know. It's all a bit vague. But yeah, fun. It's my own fault, though. I didn't bother to look after myself when I was younger. I didn't start trying to make changes until it was already too late, says one angry pagan. I'm sorry, mate. I'm sorry. Um, I'm so glad I just covered the roof with solar panels and have a huge battery storage. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. How many on-land wind turbines have been built since Labour came in? I don't know, but I know they lifted the moratorium, the effective moratorium that the Tories have put on, where if one person complained about the wind turbine, it wouldn't get built. One, says Miss Elby. So there you go. Maybe that's the answer to Andrew Ray's question. Still here. Can you sit with your feet in the water, or will something bite you? No, something won't bite me. No way. Yeah, of course I can get in the water. That's why I got the ladder. That's why we built a ladder. We built a ladder so we can get in and out the water easily from the boat dock. I personally have seen more onshore wind turbines going up down this way over the past year or so that's good. So it's more than one. Birds are singing here in Scotland. The sun is out. Woo! You're here. We can hear you. Hear ye. Harry Nilsson's Without You is a pretty sad one. Man of the World by Fleetwood Mac. That's pretty fucking heartbreaking. So the song was Kaylee by Marillion. It dropped the same week I split from a girl called Kaylee. Oh my God, Simon Smith. I'm sorry about that. I just remember. So when I was in school, I split up with my. It must have been university. So I think it was at the end of the university, and I split up with my then girlfriend. And we're still boss mates now, but like I was in Slater's on Slater Street in Liverpool, and I was there with my mates. And Michelle by the Beatles came on, and I was like, oh, I don't want to listen to this. So we left Slater's and went literally over the road to the Jacaranda. And the Jacaranda, they were playing Mrs. Robinson by the Lemonheads. Well, the cover version, the Simon and Garfunkel song, but it was the cover version by the Lemonheads of Mrs. Robinson. And her name was Michelle Robinson. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? It's always going to be the way, isn't it? You're going to get followed around by that particular song when you really don't want to be. True story. I thought you were Ginger Zorro. Yes, ginger like the fox. Sly like the fox. Ginger like the wind. What else have we got? The sound of the birds in Panama are really confusing the pigeons and magpies outside my window. Are they talking to each other? I love Man of the World by Peter Green. Original Fleetwood Mac version. I didn't read that. Honestly, I did not read that before I said it myself. Oh, wow. Yes, absolutely. Wake up and smell the heroism. I can't read all that because it's too small on the screen. Sorry, mate. But yeah, absolutely. Fucking absolutely heartbreaking. Sad song. Concrete about Big Yellow Taxi. Joni Mitchell. You don't know what you got till it's gone. I find that one a bit of an earworm, though. I wouldn't say it was sad. Vincent by Don McLean. That's a sad song. That is a sad song. One of the best sad songs that can also be a happy song is "Do You Realize" by by Flaming Lips. It's fucking fantastic as like a sad happy song. It can be played at a funeral or it can be played at a wedding. I've been to a funeral where it's been played. I've been to a wedding where it's been played. "Do You Realize" by the Flaming Lips. Fucking fantastic song. Fantastic song. What else have we got here? We got my mate. Did you ever know you're my hero by The Wind Beneath My Wings? Yes, I remember that. That was from the movie Beaches, wasn't it? Banksy has been identified over a week ago. I heard no follow up. Well, Banksy was identified like 20 years ago as Robin Gunningham, which is down as in my private school mafia list because Robin Gunningham went to fucking the Cornwall fucking church school in Bristol, which was a private school when he was there. Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel. Yeah, another one for Simon and Garfunkel. But yeah, that is a very good song. But yeah, Radiohead are good at making you tugging on that old heartstrings, aren't they? There's a great episode of Father Ted, before we found out how much of a shitbag Graham Linehan was. And it's like there's a miserable priest, and they send him to Craggy Island to cheer him up, and he's just dead miserable. And then at the end, like Father Ted fucking hurts himself or something, and he starts to laugh for the first time, and he's really cheerful. He's on the bus on the way home, and he's like, and the radio's on. It's like, and now here's the new single by Radiohead, and you just see this big grin just sort of slip away from his face. Comedy. Never been in jail. Men's prison doesn't seem too appealing, though. I imagine they have a certain popularity. Not the guy from Massive Attack, but I get now. I know follow up. Tears in Heaven. Oh, Eric Clapton. Oh, that's a sad song. That was written about his kid, wasn't he? His kid fell out the window and died, which was really horrific. Yeah. It's pretty sad. I'm thinking like Roy Orbison, but then I mean I don't know if that's sad. I think that's more tragic. There's a certain tragedy of like Roy Orbison songs, isn't there? So maybe not that one. Did Elvis do any particularly sad songs? In the Ghetto's pretty sad, but no, it's not any. It's not really. Doesn't really get you. Doesn't really get you. Oh, I know a good one. Tender by Blur. That's a sad song. I hope you were someone who makes you feel safe in the night. She's talking about Justin Frischman there, who used to be in Suede, which is funny because she doesn't half fucking look like Brett Anderson. Or maybe I should say, where's Anderson? Fucking what's wrong with me today? Brett Anderson doesn't half look like Justin Frischman. Used to in the end, back in the day. Justine. I've been locked up overnight. The last time I chipped a tooth. Ooh, damn. Even since my immortal. Ooh, okay, that's a good one. These are the days of our lives, Queen. Ooh. I was thinking of a Queen song, but it wasn't that one. Probably The Show Must Go On, I think is really fucking tragic because obviously what happened. Also, Who Wants to Live Forever off the Highlander soundtrack. That is a fucking sad song. Do you know what I mean? That is... Yeah, that's proper tragic shit right there. Comfortably Numb by Pelt. What the fuck is wrong with me today? By Pink Floyd. That's a fucking great song. Yeah. Natalie Merchant, My Skin. Oh, don't know that one. Elvis did Are You Lonesome Tonight? I Hate Elvis, lol. Fair enough. But yeah, there's some songs that are particularly fucking tragic. But the thing is, I don't find them sad. And this is sort of an interesting thing between me and Kat, is like, because she has got, she's profoundly deaf, she can only hear the sound. She can't necessarily hear what the person is singing and what they're actually saying. So she just gets like a feeling from a song. And I think this makes all the difference. I think this is the difference between, if you think about like just like listening to sad music, like Adagio for Strings by Barber, or whatever. Mozart's Requiem. Um, there's nothing to go with it. There's no beauty really to go with it, except for the sadness of the music itself and the notes and everything. But the words that someone's singing absolutely elevates whatever the song is about. It's not just a sad sounding song to me, because I'm listening to what this person is actually singing about. If you can't get that, if you can't hear that, if you can't enjoy that part of the song, then it makes it sound, it makes it come across very differently. So Kat will not let me listen to, the National, even though he did a couple of songs with Taylor Swift, who knew? But yeah, she won't let me listen to the National or Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, or the Tinder Sticks, or any of the like the miserable or Radiohead, like the really miserable shit that I like listening to. I mean, Suede. I mean, there's a Suede song. It was a B-side. I think it was from the Coming Up era, and it was called Another No One. It's only a short song, and it's just like, I mean, even like Suede's B-sides were just phenomenal. Like the first three albums of Suede are just absolute fucking stone cold classics, straight out the park. Don't forget, Radiohead's first album was a bit shit. Nirvana's first album was a bit shit. But like, the Suede and Manic Street Preachers, they both fucking came out fucking swinging with amazing debut albums. And then, I know we don't really talk that much about Gold Against the Soul, the second Manics album, but it's fucking phenomenal. And the Holy Bible, if you're going to be talking about tragic songs, what about Seven Stone, 11 Pounds, is that what it's called? With lyrics by Rich Hughes, No Longer With Us, Richie Edwards, and there's a lyric in there, like, it's about anorexia, and the lyrics are, I want to step in the snow and not leave a footprint, and you're like, fucking hell, that's some proper fucking tragedy there. Yeah, so I guess the third Mannix album, the whole thing, the whole fucking thing. Here's the song. Here's the song to cheer you up. What's it about? It's about the Holocaust. Ah, okay. What's it called? The Intense Humming of Evil. Cool. Great. I am an architect. They call me a butcher. Coldest sad lyrics are The End by The Doors. Yeah, I was thinking of The Doors actually before you mentioned it. Also, Riders on the Storm is it's a pretty cool song. That's more of a, like, I don't know, a relaxing song though, but The End is, yeah, that's a fucked up song, that song. If nobody's really singing at the end. Tracy Chapman chronicled my late wife's escape with her mom from Florida to California in fast car. Wow. Dragons Marine, that's amazing. Wow. Sad song. What's the meaning of the Eagles track, The Last Resort by the Eagles? The slow demise of America over 400 years, courtesy of religion, racism and greed. The Town I Loved So Well, Luke Kelly, I don't know that one, One Angry Pagan. Tom Walker, Leave a Light On. Perfect Lonesome Tonight by New Order, in fairness, a completely different song. Well, that's the thing, like, if you listen to the original Mad World by Tears for Fears, it's quite poppy, but the lyrics are really dark. Like, it's like, the dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. And so to do the Donnie Darko version with Gary Jules was like, and Michael thingy. I think that was like an inspired move to take what was a bit of a pop song. I mean, it wasn't very poppy, but yeah, the original is not sad, Lying in the Sun by the Stereophonics. We've got that from Wake Up and Smell Theories. Just out of curiosity, how far from Laguna de Bastamentos is Ginger Island? Well, my friend, so I'll just show you. I'm 10 kilometers from town. So just to get your bearings, right? If you go on Google Maps, you type in Ginger Island, you'll be able to find out where it is. So I'm basically doxing myself here, but whatever. If you're prepared to fly all the way here and come here on a boat, then We might look after you. But there's the town there. That's the town, this bit here. Now this gap, we've got the gap here. That's going out to sea. And then here, right, that island there, sorry, it keeps going out of focus. That's called Solate Island. That's Solate Island there. And behind Solate is Bastamentos. So the Bastamentos Lagoon lies between Bastamentos and Solate. Now Solate is like, if you imagine, like it's an island. It's quite a long island, but Bastamentos kind of is bigger and it curves around it. You're like, so one side of Bastamentos is the sea, so it's got sandy beaches, it's got waves coming in, it's great for surfing, etc. And then we've got the lagoon. Oh, sorry. And then the other side of Bastamentos Island is sheltered and it's mangroves. So one side of Bastamentos is mangroves, the other side is the sea. And then all the islands on this side that aren't on the actual sea, this is where the mangroves really thrive because they need the kind of calmer waters here. It doesn't really get that choppy out near the islands here. The water's too shallow and we don't have those big crashing waves coming in because we've got an incredible wave breaker, which is the Isla Colon and Isla Bastamentos. If you can be very clever, I don't know if you'll be able to differentiate it just because of the way that the camera is. But if you look there, I don't know if you can see, but on the edge of the mangroves, so we've got the mangroves coming to a point, right? There's actually just there, there's mangroves that are behind the other ones. I don't know if this is coming across very well on the camera because of the lighting situation, but they're on the right frame. Those mangroves are not part of my island. They're an island very close to mine, which is Cristobal Island, which is a big island. So Cristobal is swimming distance. I could swim over there. It'd be dangerous to swim over there. I wouldn't do it because a lot of boats go through this little gap here, but to the what's the left of me where I am now. But everything's going to be backwards, isn't it? Everything's going to be backwards. What I'm pointing to because this is all reversed. But yeah, I can swim to Cristobal. Solate probably take me about 10 minutes to get to Solate on my boat. It's about 5 kilometers away. Town is about 10 kilometers away. It takes me about 20 minutes to get there on my boat if the sea is not too choppy. And then Bastamentos is, I've got to go around Solate to get there. There's 2 ways to go around Solate. Obviously it's an island, so I can go the top way or the bottom way. The top way is quite fun because you've got to go through like a maze of mangroves and you've got to know which turns to make and stuff, which is really cool. But if you go the other way, it's pretty straightforward. You go past a place called Hospital Point on the tip of Solate, and there you have Bastamentos Island. Now Bastamentos Island is home to Basti Town, or Bastamentos Town, which is little Jamaica. There's actually got a big reggae gig there on Friday, which I'm quite tempted to go to. Anthony, fucking hell, what's his name? Don't know. He's a big reggae artist who's going to be playing there, so that should be fun. I might go to that. And then we've got further along, we've got Red Frog Beach and Red Frog Resort, which is like a big fucking upmarket resort. But Red Frog Beach is really nice. It's a public beach, as are all beaches in Panama. They're all public beaches. A private company cannot own a beach. And if a private company sets up something on the beach, they have to pay for the concession, and they can't stop random people walking in to their property. They can't fence it off like they do in other countries, like around here in the Caribbean in particular, but also like in Egypt and places like that. If you go to Hughes or Sharm el-Sheikh, you'll see that they actually section off parts of the beaches which are owned by particular resorts, which I think is disgusting and shouldn't be allowed. Beaches should always be a public right of way. So yeah, and then further along in Bastamentos, it stretches a long fucking way. So it would take me about 25 minutes probably to get to. Well, no, depending on which way I go. I suppose if I go the top way, what I call the top way, or maybe it's called the bottom way. Maybe if I go the bottom way, it will take me about 20 minutes to get there as well. I mean, it's less than 10 kilometers in a straight line, but there's an island in the way. There's the island of Solate, which is in the way. So the islands here, the names of the islands. So we have Cristobal and we have Colon. Cristobal Colon is the Spanish name for Christopher Columbus, who came here on his fourth voyage to the New World, which he shouldn't have been able to do because he left after his third voyage to the New World. He left in chains because he treated the people who on the island of what is now Hispaniola so fucking badly. But he stopped here. So Colon, Cristobal Colon, and also there's a little island off. Well, it's bigger than my island, but there's an island off just off the Bocas Town Peninsula, which is called Cananero, and Cananero is the Spanish for careening, something like that, which is scraping the barnacles off the bottom of your boat, and that's what Columbus did on that island. He went onto the beach and he purposely beached his vessels. I think he had 3 ships or something. And they scraped the barnacles off the boat, and then at low tide, and then when that tide came in, dragged the boat back onto the water, and then they sailed off again. Careening Island. So yes. What else have we got here? The Fields of Athenry by Pete St. John. I don't know that. So they do another version of Roy Harper's Another Day. Do you know what I thought was really good? That there was a cover version of Duran Duran's Ordinary World that they did in the run-up to the Eurovision Song Contest in 2023 in Liverpool, and that was a phenomenal cover, and that is a tragic song, Ordinary World. It's just, yeah, Duran Duran, mate. Two Little Boys, Wolf House. No, I'm sorry, you can't have that anymore. Manic Street Preachers' Born a Girl is a song about being trans. Yep, and obviously the Manics have always been great allies. Another classic, try the Dropkick Murphy's version. Ooh. Tears for Fears based that song on trauma therapy. Wow. I was wondering, American crocodiles have been confirmed to have been seen around Bastamentos. Could that be Salate forms some kind of barrier that they haven't crossed yet? I don't know. I've seen a couple of crocodiles or caimans. I don't know which one they are. They could be alligators. So crocodiles have got a U-shaped face, haven't they? And alligators have got a V-shaped face. I'm not sure, but there's definitely a couple that used to live in a bit of water. If you walk from one side of Basti to the other to get from the Red Frog Resort to the Red Frog Beach, you go past them. Is there much of a local community between the islands there? Yeah, there absolutely is. Yeah, there's a huge community here. We have, I guess, what we call the indigenous people here, which Ishmael is one. But you know, Ishmael's his family lineage. He's got like Spanish, black, the indigenous, all different kinds of heritage. I mean, his DNA. If you tested that, that'd be quite a fascinating journey, I think. But he speaks fluent English, fluent Spanish, and he also speaks the Jamaican patois that they speak in Basti Town, which we call Gwadi Gwadi. But I looked it up on Wikipedia, and it said that it was a pejorative to call it that. So I don't know if we should call it that. I don't want to upset anyone, but that's what it was always called to me. You know, when people say, "Do you speak Gwadi Gwadi?" Yeah, just really sort of fascinating little part of the world. So there's not that many people that live out on the islands. You know, it's only going to be a few hundred, if that, and everyone knows each other. Everyone just knows each other. Like famously, I had to get the Justice of Peace, the JP, to come here last year to sign off on a survey that we'd done for the island, and it turned out that it was like Ishmael's cousin or something, like the relatives. He came over and he charged me about bloody $35, and he had a beer, signed the paperwork, and which was great. And then I spoke to my lawyer afterwards in Panama City, and she goes, "How much did he charge you for the JP coming over to your island?" And I went, "Oh, about $35, something like that. She went, what? They normally charge like $600 for that. And I'm like, oh, because it was Ishmael's cousin, it was like, yeah, just can you pop round and just sign these documents for us? Like, yeah, sure, man. If it'd just been organising it, it's like some fucking stupid gringo, I would have just got to charge for the nose. So yeah, no, they have a really good sense of community here. Um, a lot of people go to church. I mean, church is a big thing here for the locals. Um, and that's the American missionaries coming over more than anything else, I think. But that, it's good for community cohesion, I guess. And also, there's a lot of schools here for the kids to make sure the kids get a proper education, even if they live out in the islands. It's really cute. Sometimes you see the kids going from Cristobal in the morning to school, and they're wearing school uniform in a dugout canoe. This really smart school uniform, white shirt, white blouse, and they're going they're paddling to school, which is really cool. So yeah, no, there's lots of community events here. They take the religious ceremonies days very seriously, like Easter, and they have Mardi Gras here. When they have Mardi Gras, they have the locals dress up well, some of the locals dress up as demons, and they walk around the streets with whips, trying to whip people, which is fun. And also there's like music as well. There's a lot of music that goes on around here where people come together to do music. Sometimes you can hear them practicing all the way over in Bocas del Toro. Because don't forget, I mean, between me and Bocas, there's only sea. So if there's a lot of loud music coming out of Bocas, even though it's 10 kilometers away, I can hear it. I can hear it clear as a bell here on Ginger Island. I've in the past I've been able to identify songs that are being played 10 kilometers away. um, I would be lost in the bushes looking for all the wildlife if there was so much life. Yeah, there is everywhere you look. I mean, there were two crabs in the shower with me this morning. Sad songs. Tomorrow's just another day by my. Oh, that is a good one. Oh, very good, Jimmy Anderson. Tomorrow's just another day. I like Michael Caine by them as well. The song Michael Caine. All I wanted was a name. That was a good one. Save Me by Queen. Yeah, that's another good one. Good pick. Both American crocodiles and spectacled caimans are recorded to be in Bocas del Toro area. Yes. We are a bit of a crossroads here over in Panama, where the flora and fauna of South America meet the flora and fauna of North America. We have big cats here. We have I think we have jaguars. We definitely have ocelots. I've seen an ocelot here in Panama. An ocelot, which just looks like a big domesticated cat, like a huge version, like a domesticated cat on steroids. An ocelot. What else have I seen? I've seen the red tarantulas, which is kind of cool, scary. I've seen those wasps that lay their eggs in the tarantulas, and then the eggs burst out like in Aliens. I've seen, never seen a toucan. I've seen loads of parrots. When I was in Amarante the other day, we were waiting for the metal sheets for the roof to turn up at the dock, and so we could put them on the boat and bring them over. And there was a tree full of parrots, and the parrots do this. They flock together, and they'll all like find one tree, and then they'll sit in the tree for hours just shouting at each other and pecking each other's faces, and then eventually they'll either decide they're going to stay there, or they'll move on to another tree to make loads of noise there instead. It happened at least once on my island where they came and just sat in a fucking tree on my island for like just making so much noise. Or like parrots everywhere. But yeah, that's it. I no longer want to go to the island spiders now. Well, I didn't say it was a red tarantula on my island. I don't have any red tarantulas here. I do have golden orb weaver spiders, but I've not seen any on this trip, which is kind of weird. They're the ones who spin the strongest silk in the world. The golden orb weaver spider. I'm not seeing any on this trip. Maybe they're all gone. I don't know. Maybe they all left, went off to find somewhere else to do. Um, I'm off. I was putting Witchy. I'll pop in only. Pass on my apologies. TC all. Don't reply. I'll be gone. Oh no! Oh no! No! Right. Okay. So talking of getting going, I've been rabbiting on for nearly 2 hours now, which is far too long. I've got to get. I've got a shitload to do on the island. So a big day of work today. Gonna really crack on with a bunch of stuff that we still need to do. I still haven't nailed down these boards down to the dock here. So I'm going to get that done. We're going to work on the on the shower, try and fix the shower so it's not leaking anymore. And I'm going to put the cupboard doors that I was painting the other day. I painted them, gave them a second coat this morning on the outside. I'm not going to bother giving them a second coat on the inside. No one's going to see it. So I'm going to attach them, see how they look. And yeah, got a bit more painting to do in the house and a bit more painting to do outside the house. So I'll crack on with that today. And I should really do that this morning before the sun comes to the other side of the house, because once the sun is on you, you cannot work. You know, where you've got to work where the sun isn't. So if it's the morning, you can't work at the back of the house because the sun is there. And if it's the afternoon, you can't work in the front of the house because that's where the sun is. So yeah, I better crack on with that. Get some painting done. Get into my old painting rags. And yeah, we've got £22 in super chats. Yes. So thank you very much to everyone who dropped in a super chat. That's Darian and Sarah. Thank you very much for that. You get another super chat animation. Super chat. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Should be getting another couple of deliveries of soil today, and then hopefully by the end of the week I should be able to make a video. It'll be a pre-record that I'll put up on here, and I'll show you everything that we've done, and it should be quite exciting. Do you know one thing that I really love, right? And you get this in swimming pools sometimes, you know, when they have like quite a low roof in a swimming pool, like a hotel pool or something like that. If you ever go to Liverpool and stay at the hotel, in the basement they've got like a spa, it's really cool, and you get this effect on the ceiling, which I absolutely love. I love that. That's one of my favorite things that nature does, when you get this the sparkling of the light from the water reflecting up on a roof. Fucking love that. Fucking love that. Anyway, so enough of me. You've heard enough from me. Yeah, God, Trump's a twat, isn't he? All that's have to say is I can't wait till Trump dies. Gonna be fucking great. Big, beautiful day. Gonna have a fucking party. Gonna have a party. Gonna have lots of parties. It's gonna be fucking amazing. All I have to say is thanks for watching. I'll leave you a little bit of footage from out there, from outside in the lagoon, to keep you busy for a few moments, and then I'm going to sign off and go do some painting. So you might get to join me a bit later on today if I decide to do something that you can watch. So please hit the bell notification icon. There are three of you who are watching this who haven't pressed the like button yet. So if you three could do that for me, that would be great. Please, I'm coming to Liverpool to party with you, Graham, from this. Absolutely, let's fucking do it. Let's put on a show. Oh yeah, we've done it. We've managed to get more thumbs up than we have people watching. That is a good ratio. I like that ratio. So thank you very much to everyone who's given us a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel. But also, and possibly more importantly, hit the bell notification icon, because as everyone keeps complaining about, I'm not keeping a structured timetable while on the island, because crazy shit happens, and what can you do when crazy shit happens, and things take too long, and you finish one thing, and and I might not be able to get internet for whatever reason. I might not be able to get signal. There's all kinds of technical problems that you have that you don't need to think about when you're at home, when you got your broadband, showing off at your broadband televisions, watching your Netflix. I don't have that luxury here. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll leave you with a view of the lagoon, and until next time, I'll say hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye. Would help if it would focus, wouldn't it? Focus, you bastard.